Alright guys, here's my potato bed. Man, this thing is looking pretty friggin' pathetic. This thing had a bunch of regular potatoes. I mean, the plants were 2-3 feet tall. I don't know if it's the weather, lack of water, but they're just dying off. The only thing that's really left thriving is the sweet potatoes. These little vines are doing awesome. You see, even here I had a little watering hose. It's like a drip line. I had all routed through around every plant in here. Dang weeds. You see the potato plants, so the ones that are left are just all bent over. And here's one. Just dead. I mean, it's a crispy critter. There's another one. That one there, it's not all brown, but it's pretty much toast. Show what the heck's going on. Pretty much all the green stuff you see are weeds. We'll pull them suckers out. So I guess I'll be pulling and checking for our potatoes early this year, because I don't. Obviously, these aren't going to grow anymore. Other than the sweet potatoes. See, there's a couple potato leaves that look like they're doing okay, but everything else is pretty much like this. It's done. Kaput. Give you a look long ways down the bed here. That's pathetic. It seemed like this time last year I had potato plants 3-4 foot tall. Just overall look here. This little nasty stuff here was my asparagus bed. Transplanted a bunch from out back, and they just haven't done really good up here. Yeah, there was just so many weeds mixed in with the asparagus. This first section's onions and radishes, but the radishes, you see here, man, they didn't do good either. Freaking weeds just taking over everything. My fault. I didn't keep up on it. I think these two sections here, I'm just gonna rip everything out. Here in these little barrels, or buckets, I got these are raspberry bushes. I ain't figured out where I'm gonna plant them yet. Now in this section here, these two sections are all strawberries. These are all like on their second. One's on their third year, and one section's on its second year, I believe. And it's trying to spread over this last section. I think I'm just gonna let it take over. I had planted some carrot seeds, but man, I can see the stalks, but I just don't think it's. I don't. Weeds got in there too before the carrots took off. I just don't think they're gonna do nothing. So I think I'm just gonna rip everything out of there, let the strawberries take over, where they have 3 sections. And looking straight ahead is these poles I put up for the beans, and further down the peas, but a lot of my peas didn't survive. But the ones that survived, I got some pretty decent looking little pea pods on them. Just that's not enough to, if you're trying to get stuff for canning or hell, even to eat for a meal, you got to have a lot more plants in that. So we're going to have to step it up next year. These are like a red bean. I don't have any beans yet. They're flowering, but I haven't actually seen any beans yet. Only beans I've gotten so far are these These are the tall telephone beans. from Baker Creek Seeds. Like I said, the bugs just decimated the hell out of these things, but we're still getting some beans. So hopefully I'll get a few more. A lot of this garden is just an experiment. For any real production, we're gonna have to step it up. But they probably end up going back to my big garden out in the back. So I just can't get the production up here. It's either the soil conditions or plants too close together. I'm not totally sure. I got some just random tomato plants here. These fell over in one of the last storms. This corn, I got some tomato plants that just grew up from, must have been seeds from last year that were just on the ground from little tomatoes. I'm gonna guess there's some sort of cherry tomato, because that's what I had over in this corner, were cherry tomatoes. And we are getting some tomatoes here. They do look kind of like cherry tomatoes, so I'm gonna make a wild guess and say that's what they are. And my failed experiment here with the put one of these gutters up here. You know, my plan was to grow like lettuce. Yeah, it is growing, but it's taken forever to get to this height. Oh, come down to this height here. I mean, these things are 3-4 inches tall. This is some red romaine here. Take a little nibble. The second half here was supposed to be, whoa, some bitter lettuce. Holy. Yeah, we're not gonna eat that. That'd take a lot of ranch to kill that flavor. Yeah, the second half here, I had radishes in here. I made this little gutter system. I see where people had a lot of success with this, but I think I noticed, I mean, this dries out so quick. I mean, this is just chunky dry. I mean, I could water this every day and it just dries out. So I think without some sort of drip irrigation system, I don't know, this might not be the way to go. I mean, this does get some sunlight. Maybe if you had one of these systems set up, maybe we had a little more shade. I don't know if the sunlight's drying it out. I mean, it's nice lettuce, but oh, I just took a bite. Man, that was bitter. But I had some of these seeds that fell down here into my garden, and the plants grew like gangbusters. So the only thing I can think of is it's just lack of water up in this little raised gutter system. But it was worth a try. I'm not gonna totally give up on it. I might do it again next year and just try to find a way to keep it watered a little more consistently.